All right, so our next presentation this evening will be our elementary school opening of schools report. So I'd like to invite up Dr. Margaret Podesta and Mrs. Carly Roby. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I am Margaret Podesta, and I'm here with Carly Roby, our assistant principal. I also have some colleagues here and some very special students who are here to help us present on the opening of schools at Putnam Valley Elementary School. This is a very exciting time of year, always. A nice fresh start and lots of opportunity ahead. The theme of opportunity, of course, is big in our district this year. And there's an opportunity every day to do our best, to learn a lot, and to be the best people we can be. We have a new look at the elementary school. Here it is. We have a very fancy, fresh color in the hallways. Sometimes looks gray, purple, blue, or even pink. Either way, it is gorgeous, it is bright, and it's a nice, fresh look for a school that's been standing for a while. I do want to thank Dave Spittle, Ray Renzo, our entire custodian team, and the summer workers who worked so hard down to the trim on every door. It just looks like a brand new building, and it's just such a pick-me-up. So we do thank everyone for this investment and for the hard work that went into it. It's beautiful. A quick review of last year. We had a very busy and productive last year at Putnam Valley Elementary. It was a full year of scholastic literacy again, with lots of professional development taking place throughout the year, looking at our reading program, really focusing on our ELA station rotations, our small group learning in line with the science of reading. And this professional development went on with one of our staff members, Carrie Burdett, who leads the way in our learning with Scholastic. She does a wonderful job. She's also a first grade teacher. We also continued with our foundations, our phonics program with turnkey training, especially with Teresa Bork, one of our teacher leaders in that area. Our RTI process was refined even more so to make it efficient, very student-centered, making sure that our students get what they need as part of the whole MTSS umbrella in schools. Our science lab was a very busy place last year. The New York State tests have changed. New York State investigations with grades 3 and 4 came our way. We did lots of learning. We have a wonderful teacher aide, Mrs. Bross, in the science lab who helps facilitate materials and hands-on experiments so that science learning is meaningful and very connected to the world around us. We began library book exchange with Mrs. Medina last year, who is in our library again this year, and so children go to the library every 2 weeks, take home books, support their reading that they do every day. We celebrated the Mandarin program, which had been in Putnam Valley for at least 5 years, and we have some children I know in the high school who really their foundation was at elementary with the language Mandarin, and they are very connected to that language and growing with it. However, that contract ended, and we're excited to tell you in a little bit about Spanish exposure in our elementary school in a very creative way. We also last year introduced the Hegarty program, which is a part of reading which is proven to be extremely important for young readers. Yes, we want to teach decoding, we want to teach phonics, we want to teach letter identification and letter sounds, but children really need to know how to rhyme, how to break up words, how to change words by changing the vowels or the consonants at the beginnings and ends of words, and just having that awareness. So you will hear from Mrs. McCarty tonight talking a little bit about the Hegarty, which is now fully in place in our K through 2 classrooms. Here's Carly.
So I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again. I have never been in an elementary school that is so alive throughout the summer, and it's such a special place to be. There were students almost every single day in our buildings. We had our extended year program in the elementary school with not only our own students, but with our middle school and high school students coming to see us as well, which is such a treat. We hosted our summer boost where students could come in and just kind of get a refresher and mindset shift before the school year started and remember what it's like to be in school. Our kinder camp welcomed some of our youngest learners to introduce them to what school is going to look and feel like. we were able to do our kindergarten bus run and have the whole incoming kindergarten students come and join us and take a bus ride with a parent orientation and a visit to their classrooms. We also did something that, again, is special to Putnam Valley. The kindergarten back to school night happened before school even started. So these parents get to come in, they get to meet the teacher, they get to see the classroom before sending their little ones off to the unknown to help feel a little more secure. And finally, we were able to host our new student orientation. When students move in over the summer, instead of walking into an unknown space, they get to come in, meet us, take a tour of the building, and meet the families, which is super special. It's also busy with adults. There's learning that's happening throughout the whole summer. We had our big master schedule committee meeting so that it's not just one person making the schedule. All voices are heard and thought about and collaborated with. Our writing instruction team gathered for 2 days. We had 2 teacher leaders hold training, one about our decodables, which are becoming more and more in use with the science of reading, and again with our Hegarty training. Our grade levels met and did their curriculum work and produced artifacts. Same with our department meetings. And then on Superintendent Conference Day, we again had 2 teacher leaders, and they hosted literacy stations training and the Writing Revolution training.
And so I introduced the program of Hegarty, which is just really 8 to 10 minutes a day, but the real expert in the room, and she's not calling herself an expert, but she's becoming a teacher leader in this area, is Mrs. Kristen McCarty. So I'd like to invite her up to talk about it a little bit.
A little bit shorter. Thank you for having me. And I know I have some of my first grade friends, family members who didn't have a choice also joined me. But I do have to say thank you to the parents for bringing them in on a Thursday night after a long week. So thank you to all of the parents. I'm very grateful. So with Hegarty, it is a heavy, there's a heavy emphasis on phonemic awareness. And what exactly is phonemic awareness? Many aren't sure and don't know. It is the ability to recognize, identify, and manipulate the individual sounds, or phonemes, as what they're called, in spoken words. So really, it's auditory. It's what we hear. It's how we can manipulate what we hear before we even get to print. It's also an important skill in both reading and writing, and it can also be a strong indicator of reading and spelling readiness and success. So with the Hegarty program, there's a heavy instructional focus on sounds we hear in words. Lessons are an oral and auditory warm-up to phonics instruction, that's where print starts to come in. And then students isolate, blend, and segment or break apart and manipulate sounds in spoken words. So this is just an example of the manual. It's literally a lesson plan right in front of us. Most teachers, including myself, have it on my lap as I'm teaching the lesson. On the left column is all of the different skills that we are working on every day. It's pretty much the same skills every single day. Rhyme recognition, initial sounds, blending syllables and sounds, recognizing the final sound. There's also changing sounds to make new words. And then it gets into early literacy skills, which is where you can start talking about and introducing words and sentences, how many words are there in a sentence, and it starts to bring in some print in terms of letters and the sounds that those letters make. So I would like my first grade friends to come on up and sit right in front of the chair, just like in school. We're pretending we're in the elementary school. And we're going to do just a quick lesson on what we do every day in the classroom. And you're welcome to join in. Pretend you're in first grade again.
The floor is probably cold.
So the first thing is rhyme production. And in the beginning it started where they just had to tell me if two words rhymed or didn't rhyme. And now we are beginning producing rhymes. So here we go, you ready? Okay. So I'm gonna say a word, it's a nonsense word, and it has to do with something you find at school. You'll tell me a word that rhymes with that nonsense word. You ready? Okay. So I'm thinking of a word that rhymes with stooks. You can just call out. Books. Excellent. How about a word that rhymes with slew? Good job. They're all things that you find at school. How about fizzers? Scissors. Amazing. Tarkers? Markers. Good job. And Wenzels? Pencils. Amazing. All right, so now we're going to listen for the first sound in a word, okay? I say a word, you say a word, then you tell me the first sound. Octopus. Octopus. Ah, great. Motion. Motion. Amazing. Violin. Violin. Good job. Now we are going to blend sounds together to make words, okay? I am going to say sounds. You copy me. You could get your choppers out. And then you're going to blend the word together, okay? You ready? N-et. Awesome. T-ug. Awesome. G-ap. Great. W-ide. Very nice. Now we are listening for the last sound in a word. I will say a word, you say a word, and then we'll say it again and punch that last sound. You ready? Okay, get your arms ready. Stood. Stood. Good job. Shark. Shark. Great. Praise. Praise. Very nice. Crown. Good job. All right, so now, it's okay. Now I'm going to give you a word. It's your time to chop it up. I'll give you a word, you say the word, and then you chop it into sounds. Okay? Wet. Yep, don't say it again after though. That's okay. Dug. Perfect. Tap. Good job. One more. Side. Amazing. Good job. All right, so now I'm going to say part of a word. And we can add a sound to the beginning and make a new word. You're going to tell me what the new word is. You ready? Okay. Say ode. Add k to the beginning. What's the word? Very good. Say ope. Good. Add to the beginning and the word is? Awesome. Say oak. Add j to the beginning and the word is? Great job. One more. Say oat. Add v to the beginning and the word is? Amazing. All right, so now we can take away a sound and you're going to tell me what's left. It's getting a little trickier. Okay? Say bone. Without b, what's left? Awesome. Say code. Without k, what's left? Awesome. Say rope. Without what's left? And say joke. Without j, what's left? You're like experts already. All right, now one of the trickiest. You ready? I'm going to say a word, and I'm going to change the beginning sound. You'll tell me the new word. You ready? Okay. Say kite. Change k to n, and the word is? Night. Amazing.
Very good.
Say night. Change n to t, and the word is? Good. You guys are amazing. Say tight. Change t to b, and the word is? Awesome. Say might. Change to and the word is? Good Good job, amazing. All right, so now I have a couple of letter cards. I'm not making you do all of them like we do in school. And you're gonna tell me the letter and the sound it makes, okay? All right, so letter is? E. Sound is? Eh. Good job. Letter is? C. Sound is? Good. We'll do one more. Letter is? I. Sound is? It. Awesome. All right, last one. This is my class's favorite part of the Heggerty lesson, not because it's the end. Okay, so I'm gonna say a sentence, you repeat it, then you're going to count the words in the sentence. You ready? Okay. Today is Thursday.
Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday.
Show me. Yep, today is Thursday. Good job. All right, we'll do two more. Watch out for muddy puddles.
Watch out for muddy puddles. Watch out for muddy puddles.
Watch out for muddy puddles. Good job. All right. This was one of my favorites. I like pancakes for breakfast.
I like pancakes for breakfast. I like pancakes for breakfast.
I like pancakes for breakfast. Awesome job. And that's it. I don't think I could have asked for anything better. Thank you. So I abbreviated it. I didn't do as many words as we normally do during the day. It's late. It's getting close to bedtime. But yeah, it's a quick thing. It's planned for us. There's very little that teachers need to do. And I've already seen a difference in their writing, not just with sounds and spelling, but also understanding how many words are in the sentence that they're thinking about. And I see them counting when they're writing on their own. So it's been very exciting. So thank you. And thank you again, Karen.
Thank you all very much. Would you guys like to take a picture before you leave?
Yeah.
All right, one. Okay. So you come up and say your names, and then you guys can all line up with Dr. Podesta, Ms. Roby, and Mrs. McCarty, and we'll take a picture.
Mary. Come say your name. That way. What's your name?
Meredith.
Meredith.
Mayor.
Good job. How about you?
Sawyer McCarty.
He didn't have a choice. Come on, come. Yeah, okay. All right, come around.
Benjamin Cummings. Carly Watke. Kaylee Singleton. Kevin Singleton. Julia Contini.
Good job.
Rose Marinelli.
And
Grace Gallagher.
good job. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So while they're posing, Aiden and Phil, what do you, very different from what you remember in first grade?
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
Do you want to get in? Do you want to get in?
Thank you very much for coming.
Great job, boys and girls. We're so proud of you. Amazing. Amazing.
Dr. Podesta, just a quick question. Back in the ancient days, there was a thing called whole language. You remember that? Is this a derivative of that, or it seems...
Not at all.
Not at all, okay.
No.
Is this on anymore? Okay.
It's on now.
Okay, great. Yes, no, this is really a focus on the letter sounds, breaking apart words, and really looking at letters and sounds in detail. Yeah,
As they actually are.
as they are. Yes.
As opposed to the whole language, which made
Yes.
up letters and things.
Yeah.
Good.
And
That's good to
really,
hear.
it's not even attached to print at that point. This
Yeah.
is really hearing sounds and hearing what's a whole word, what is a whole sentence, how many parts of the sentence. I just want to thank Kristen McCarty. That was outstanding.
That was outstanding.
Thank you. Kristen actually took a 2-hour workshop last year virtually. I mean, that's really where it all started. But since then, she's been practicing and working, and it doesn't look that hard until you're sitting in front of a group of students who are watching every move you make. And that, I think Heggerty might be hiring you. We have to be very careful.
I think the most impressive part was not that they knew the correct answer, but they spoke in a single voice.
Right.
Every single time.
Yeah, they're not even all in the same class.
Yeah.
Not even, not at all. Yeah, and they're just so well behaved, just amazing. Yeah, they're in
Well,
different
and
first grade
when
classes.
she started, when she was explaining it, I'm like, I want to see somebody do it. Like what?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
So it was great to see that, and to see students actually in action doing that. I know that it's time consuming, but it's also like visual, and I noticed that it's also physical in that there's movement involved, so that like all the parts of their brain are working
Yes.
together, which is huge.
It's a
and
very
great for them.
multi-sensory approach, and that's very important. And I just think it's nice for the Board of Ed to see where our children start. I mean, these aren't even kindergartners, they're big first graders now, but many times we get to see the high school amazing presentations at these meetings. And, you know, first they're learning letter sounds with us and learning how to be in school, and I'm just so proud of them, so thank you. All right. So here are how many students we have this year. And so our kindergarten class came in a very small numbers this year. We only have 4 sections, general ed sections, one of them, of course, at every grade level being a collaborative section, ICT. But we have 83 students in kindergarten. Grade 1, 92. Grade 2 is a little bigger, 115. Grade 3, 107, and grade 4 is our big class. We lost a big class going to middle school last year, and now we do have 6 sections of 4th grade still with 133 students. So last year at this time, we had 573 students at the elementary school. This year, we have 530. We lost a big class and we gained a small class. Based on student need, we were able to have a K2 full-day Achieve class this year. So we have 2 full-day Achieve classes, self-contained classes. Some of the children do push into other classes for subject areas and for specials. And we also, of course, have our New Horizons classes K2 and 3-4. We do have a lot going on with writing this year. Writing is our major focus in our elementary school. We've really been working with reading in a very detailed way. And so this year we're focusing on writing instruction and what that looks like. As Mrs. Roby said, we had 2 full days with our building level writing team. Many of us also belong to the K-12 writing committee. But what we're looking at, and just like looking at skills and details of reading and text, we're looking at skill-based learning with writing. We are trying to give our students the basic skills needed to be sophisticated and avid writers. So the explicit instruction of writing skills is a focus for us at all grade levels. We're looking at sentence expansion, using text evidence in our writing to support our claims, whether it be for science or it be for an essay or an argumentative piece, a persuasive piece. And we're really focusing on what's important, spelling, grammar, and punctuation. We've looked at the benchmarks. We have a writing prompt that was given to all of our students last year, K through 4. We looked at the benchmark expectations at each grade level. We looked at high, medium, and low samples at all grades. We posted them in our conference room for all teachers to look at. And from there, we're developing further benchmarks and looking at our instruction. So we have a year ahead of hard work with writing. It is hard work, but we're excited about it. And we want to prepare them for what they're expected to be writing and doing in middle school and high school.
So along with all the curriculum initiatives, we also have a lot of areas of student support. In the spring, we were able to host a Springtime Reading Academy where students were invited to come in some mornings before school and were given a little extra guided reading or decodable boost. We also have our iBlock, which is a time for pullout for different services, but it's also a really big instructional time. That gives teachers the opportunity in the classroom to work with those students at exactly what they need. So whether it's reading groups, whether it's writing support, whether it's math lessons, or even enrichment for some students, while other students are in various places in the building. It's no new content, but it's really individualizing that instruction for each child. We have students that visit our speech teachers. We have our occupational therapists, our physical therapists. We have ENL students and counseling groups that are all taking place during that period. We also have our AIS teachers that work with groups during this time in reading and math, and that's really differentiated again for their specific needs. We also are implementing those decodable books to help students, if this is what we're explicitly teaching you of how to break down words, now we're going to give you the text that's what I've taught you to see how you're able to read it. We also are fortunate to have those AIS teachers do some pushing into the classroom in the mornings for math and reading support as well. We also have our teaching assistants that a few of them are able to do even additional instruction and guided groups or foundations practice. That's kind of, we call it like half a tier. It's that in between, a little bit of extra boost for people that we're able to do. And we really can monitor all of this carefully through our quarterly data meetings. Along with that is one of the biggest things in Putnam Valley, and that's our community. And it's all about opportunity. In our elementary school, there are so many opportunities to invite the community in and to work with the community. So we already had the Welcome Back picnic, which was such a fun time for our students and families. We'll be welcoming our first responders soon for a visit to the school. Parent communication happens on a daily basis, whether it's with Dr. Podesta or myself, the classroom teacher, newsletters, the weekly word. There's just a plethora of ways that parents are communicated with. We have our community read day. The PTA hosts many, many weekend events. We have our Flag Day ceremony. We invite our seniors from the high school to come back and do their cap and gown walk through the building, which is so exciting. We love when our sports teams do well and we get to host a parade at the elementary school. And we have ongoing holiday celebrations and parades and sing-alongs throughout the year.
Another exciting outcome of last year was the hard work that our building steering committee did throughout the year. And this committee consisted of parents, we had a board member on the committee, we have administrators, and of course, teachers from every grade level. So what we did is we came together with no set agenda. We opened it up to discussion, to questions, to issues that needed to be discussed. And we really have talked about the connection and communication with community. And we know that we're always trying to communicate, but thinking about how we can answer questions and help parents, whether they're brand new kindergarten families or they're brand new to Putnam Valley. They just moved in. And guess what? This turned out to be something that's helpful to people who might have lived here for 10 years, but they just didn't know some of the things that we included in this very full document. It's a live document. So it's now posted on the elementary website. That's a real live QR code. It could actually be used with your phone right now to take you right to the live document that you may have seen on the website. All of the QR codes were actually attached to all of our elementary school students' homework folders this week. So if parents want to go and take a look at what is on there, it's almost endless. It's everything from school services, what is for lunch today, how do you sign up for town baseball, what does RTI mean, how do I check out a library book, how do I find out about Girl Scouts, it's where do I pay my taxes. It is all of the information we could think of with our building steering committee that might be helpful to parents of the community. It's going to be, it is live. We can change it. It's in Spanish. And I'm just really excited about this project because I think it helps connect all of us together. It's helpful, it's informative, and we're going to keep it up to date. I'd like to thank Crystal for her input with our document, and we'll just continue to make it better and better because I think it will be used. I really do. And the QR codes are out and about. parent engagement just goes along with that. We want our parents to be involved, we want our parents to be heard, and we want our parents to be communicated with so that they feel comfortable joining the PTA, joining the wonderful Putnam Valley Education Foundation. We've had speakers from both those organizations at our back to school night. We're collaborating with our local library for a chance for our students to read and rate books for the library. We're actually helping them with that. We've had back to school nights very early in the year, K2 and 3-4, with great attendance. We've had last year our ELA parent workshop, which we will do again, ENL nights for families that we'd like to grow and actually have a couple throughout the year, we're hoping. Our building steering committee will take on a new project this year. We'll have to decide what that will be. Our classroom events are ongoing, especially our writing celebrations, our concerts, our shows, and the moving up ceremony is always extra special, celebrating our fourth graders, because those years really do go by very quickly.
This year, we're able to add in even more character education and diversity. So what we did is we created a theme for each month this year, and we are holding community meetings by grade levels to discuss what that theme is. For example, September was positive thinking. So we had a meeting with each grade level. What is positive thinking? How can we show positive thinking throughout the day? There's also a common book each month that goes along with the theme that every single student will be hearing, so any teacher can reference that within the school. We're continuing with our Tiger Paws and celebrating positive behaviors for classrooms. And we are just continuing with more assemblies and more classroom lessons, and the SEL lessons are continuing in our meetings and just that common vocabulary throughout the building for our students.
As I mentioned, we want our children exposed to other languages, and so we just happen to have a gift of a wonderful aide in the library who's also completely fluent in Spanish. And so we thought, hey, what can we do with this? So she was more than willing. She is not designing lessons. She's not giving Spanish classes. But the library is a place where the children visit on a regular basis. And I have a video, short video, to show you what Mrs. Jackie Medina is doing with her Spanish skills and just her wonderful way with children. The library is a very busy place. She's hosting book clubs on her own. She'd like to host book clubs during recess time. She's collaborating with the local library. She partners with teachers to find resources in the library to help students learn and research. There are games and books and poems. Some of them are in English right now, and if children want to learn a little Spanish, that is available. So right now, I think this will work. Let's see. Okay.
So I figured what better word to learn in Spanish than the one that you're going to be using every time you come to the library, which is book, right? Does anybody know how to say book in Spanish? Someone? Libro, right. The Spanish word for book is libro. Everybody say it? Libro. Good. So every time you're going to ask for a book, I want you to remember and ask for a libro. So every time you come to the library, you're going to borrow un libro, which is one book. And when you return your libro in 2 weeks, you'll get a new libro. Can you say libro again? Libro. Perfect.
So sweet.
I love that. I love that.
It's just naturally integrated into the day. It's not time out of the teacher's academic schedule. And the children are so excited about it. And guess what? So is Mrs. Medina. It's wonderful. So we're excited about her for sure. Okay. I might need help. You didn't want me to go to the next
bless you.
slide.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so along with all of this wonderful creative presentation that we have, I want to tell you that our data is still extremely strong. This is very important to us, that our students succeed academically, that they are challenged, and that they rise to the highest bar that they can. Now, we do not have the spring 2024 data all set to show you, but we're excited to show you that in the near future. This is from spring 2023, and we actually met, Jackie Levine and administrators met with the school meter person today just to explain our data, to take a look at what these graphs mean. So very proudly, I say that these are 3rd and 4th grade boxes that show you that in ELA on the left and in math on the right, we are in the top decile of the state in our state test scores for grades 3 and 4 ELA and math. So in 4th and 3rd grade, and in 4th grade in this year, spring 2023, we were in the top 10% of New York State, and you know in 2019 we were in the top 3%. So I don't have that down to the percentage. This is us compared to New York State. When we compare our scores to Westchester and Putnam, some of the highest achieving schools in the state, we're first in math. Okay, so let's just say it, number 1. And that's all Westchester County. So will we be that this year? I don't know, but we'll be up there because we have a very strong math curriculum. We have very strong math teachers from kindergarten up through 4th grade, and our support, and our ELA is also strong. Some of what we see in our scores is our transition to a new reading program where teachers were learning, trying new strategies, and so we might have gone to the 2nd decile in some areas, but we're still extremely proud of the work that our students do, proud of our teachers who are amazing at professional learning and then transferring that learning to the classroom. And I want our parents to know that our students go to a very strong school and that our academics are extremely strong.
We're also fortunate enough to offer many different clubs for our students. The 4th graders started Safety Patrol today, I believe, was the first day. They were very excited to take their posts and this new responsibility within the school. There's the gym show, which is always exciting. We have our Kids of Character Club, and it focuses with sustainability as well. Our Science and Maker Club. Our Earth Helpers, the musical was such a success last year, and we're very excited to see what they come up with this year, especially with our new music teacher as well. And we actually are adding 2 new clubs this year. One is called a Kindness Club, and we are also going to be offering a sign language club for our students.
As we look to the year ahead and the year of opportunity, I mentioned that writing instruction is a very strong focus for all of us, K through 4. We'll continue our focus with small group learning, rotations within the classroom so that the teacher can work with a small group at one time and the other students are well versed at working at what they're doing, whether they're talking with other students at their table with work that they're doing or working independently. The iBlock instruction focus, the iBlock is actually an opportunity every day. It's a time when teachers can really focus in on particular students and their needs. Science lab planning with the investigations, we've adjusted the use of the science lab a bit to make sure that the classes that need the most time with the hands-on work in the lab are getting that. So that took a lot of collaboration, and we're seeing how it goes so far. So far, so good. We do have a change. 4th grade must take computer-based state tests this year. So our 4th graders will join the classes who in other grade levels have started that already. Our 3rd graders will continue to take paper-based tests this year. Our teachers really collaborated and decided, let's put one more year on it, and so we'll wait for that. And of course, our Character Ed and Diversity has a new look with Mrs. Roby and I really leading the way, but the support of the wonderful teachers who've put so much effort into that through the year. Our specials are incredibly special. And so of course, our children once a week go to music, twice a week go to physical education, once a week go to art and innovation lab, and our 4th graders, if they choose to, take part in band with Mrs. Bennett. You can see up in the left corner there, we have children in art class. Below, Mrs. Bennett's working with a student with the first band lesson for that student, I believe. Top right is our new music teacher, Mr. Derland. The creativity in this room and the student engagement is astounding, and we're really excited to see what Mr. Derland brings. He's already playing the ukulele throughout the school, and he performed for our staff the first day. I actually asked him if he wanted to. He said yes. I said, great, he did it, and it was phenomenal. And of course, phys ed keeps our kids healthy and moving, and they've been working with, what's it called, the most impossible shot? Yeah, it's hard to make, but it's based on kindness and character education. So we've got great things happening. Innovation Lab is a relatively new special, although I think we've got, is this your 5th year? 4? Okay, well, Mrs. Bruno, who used to teach in the general ed classroom, has taken the opportunity, again, to create a special that combines all of the STEAM words and science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics. And so Mrs. Bruno's phenomenal. She basically took this opportunity and developed a program that is so innovative, so creative, and so engaging. And the children do love to go to Innovation Lab. They have to walk outside to get there because it's in the fancy modular building that was updated, and I don't think she ever wants to leave that place. She loves it. And I am actually going to ask Jen Bruno to come share with us, because I don't know if the board has heard what really goes on in this class, K through 4. This is a picture of the beautiful room where Jen teaches every day. A lot goes on in that room.
I promise not to take up too much time, but I do have to tell you, I struggled with figuring out what I wanted to show here tonight, because I could probably talk for hours upon hours of what we do in there. It is probably the most fun I've ever had in my life, and I loved being a classroom teacher. Like, I loved it with a passion, but this is just the most amazing place that I've ever been. And it's not because I got to write the curriculum or anything. The kids make it even better. So I'm gonna show you some of the things that we get to do and experience and expose the students to while in Innovation Lab. And then if you have any further questions, or if ever you want to pop in and check it out and have some fun, you are more than welcome to come in, because it is really a special place. So the 3 things that we always review every time we come into Innovation Lab is to be creative, be brave, and be collaborative. And when I talk about being brave, I talk about knowing that failure is okay. And I think that's really important for the students to understand. And even when you do something the first time and you get it right or it works out, what can you do to even make it better? Can you make a change? What would you change? Things like that. So really just getting them to kind of explore those thoughts. So most lessons, activities, challenges that we do are based around these 4 C's of communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. The next several slides that I'll show you are just some samples of some of the things that we get to do while we're in Innovation Lab with our youngest kindergarten students all the way through our 4th graders. And I have to tell you that some of the younger students will always say, you know, when do we get to do that? And I'm like, well, that's a 4th grade challenge, so you've got to wait. So every year, 1 more year, then we're there. I'm like, I know, you're getting there. So it's very exciting. So a lot of the times when we have, if we meet our goal for the day and we have a good 10 minutes left over, I give them a little time to explore and create. They also get to earn, with our Tiger Paws, some explore and create days. These are just some of the things that the students have come up with me just putting out supplies and randomly saying, go, explore and create. What can you do? What do you want to do? So just some of these little things are amazing. I actually want to keep some of them. Like that little guy on the little egg right there. Even these were just students that said, oh, I want to build something. I'm not really quite sure what it's going to turn into, but I'm going to start, and then more kids would come over and it would turn into a group thing. And it's really interesting to see and hear their thoughts with each other. No, that's not going to work. Oh, look, it's going to collapse. What are we going to do? No, let's make the base bigger, you know, and then I'll say, well, what's that word again for base? Oh, foundation. Yeah, foundation, you know, so trying to work in those vocabulary words. I do a lot of math connections here. We do a lot of digital designs, as you can see. This was based off of some symmetry lessons. I talk about it as being identical in kindergarten, and then from 1st grade on, we talk about symmetry. We get into rotational symmetry in 4th grade, reflectional symmetry in 2nd and 3rd grade, and these are just some of the designs that the kids have come up with. the marble run might be the most favorite thing for almost all students. And it's really interesting. The picture that you see on the left there with those 4 friends, that was a picture last year. They were in kindergarten. They're in first grade this year. By the end of the school year, they were so proud that they got just about every single marble run piece connected, and their marble went through every track. It took a lot of problem solving, a lot of failure, and they were finally so excited. They're like, yep, so we had to take a picture. But that's one of the things that no matter what grade level they're in, they are all super excited about that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard. I've done the marble run before, and I'm really good at finding the base and getting a couple of things together, but then other times I'm like, I need you guys to come over here and show me this, because you can't get it to go through every track sometimes. It's very, very tricky. So a lot of the times in the beginning of the school year, we'll talk about the DOT, because there is a very strong message in there about being creative and believing in yourself. So I do a different activity with every grade level, and in 3rd grade I get to expose them to augmented reality, which is pretty exciting. They have no clue what it is at first until I show them a picture of Pokemon Go, and then they freak out and they think, oh my gosh, we're gonna play Pokemon Go? No, that's not how it works. But we do get to use a Quiver app, which is a free app. Most of the things that I try to do in Innovation Lab, I try to use the free version so that they can go home and get it if their grown-up allows them to. And I think that people appreciate that, because free is always great. We do a lot of animation. So starting with our youngest students, on the iPad, there is a free app that is called Toy Theater, and there is Animation Station. And then in 2nd grade, we get to Chatterpix. By the time they get to 2nd and 3rd grade, we're making stop motion videos in Google Slides. And then I have a new one, that Flip NM. I took a summer class. Thank you, by the way, for approving all of that. And so I'm going to try that. We're creating digital flip books this year with 4th grade on the computer, on their Chromebook. So that's very exciting. So coding is a huge unit that we do, and this is like the big one that everybody always waits for. So we do start off with very basic directional coding, all block coding. This year I'm hoping to get our 4th graders to use a little bit of written code through CodeMonkey and another site. They have some different written code. It's not necessarily JavaScript, they call it CoffeeScript, so it's a little less based. I know, it's very funny. So I'm hoping to use that with them just to get them to that further level. But basically we go over sequencing, loops, conditions, all of that stuff that I had no idea existed before I started to do this. I was on YouTube. What do I do? What is this? Reaching out to Mr. Fiore at the high school, like, I need you to help me here. I have no idea what's happening, but this is amazing and it looks fun. So we do B-bots, and with the B-bots, I'm able to work in math standards, reading, writing, things like that. These are some of our other bots that we've used. On the right side, you'll see Primo. He's our basic coding bot for kindergarten. That's what we start with, because he has a control panel and buttons that he uses. And these other ones, we have Artie the art bot. We have Huey, who's new, that little guy in the middle at the bottom. And then our mouse bot, Colby, where the kids get to make up their own design of their board and then try to get the mouse through whatever they have built and designed. These are just some other things as well. We do Scratch Junior. It's really interesting to see them try to debug their code, because that's where they have to find their own mistake and then try to fix it, which is really nice. And there's kindergartners that are debugging even though they don't know that that's what they're doing. And so you're going to become a computer programmer, you're well on your way. This is the big one that everybody wants to get to. So in 4th grade, we code drones. We go into the auditorium. I take a whole class of 4th graders. I know, it's a little insane if you think about it, but it has been utterly amazing. The kids are safe. They have to be approved and get their pilot's license. They have a flight attendant who makes sure that their flight area is clear, and they have to use the block coding in order to get their drones to fly. So that's one thing that our 4th graders really look forward to, and that's the one that everybody wants to get to. We go over a little bit of binary code, just learning different types of coding language, and then I try to differentiate in terms of what are the kids going to do. So whatever we're doing, it is completely hands-on. It's as much hands-on as possible, as much creativity as possible. And here are just some more, couple quick things. Engineering design process is something we go through a lot, where they have to plan something first and then try to build it. These are just a couple quick examples. Collaboration challenges are huge. They're not easy. They have to learn compromise, they have to learn communication, but it is really cool to see them kind of achieve or not achieve their goal. And then what are they going to do? I do ask them to reflect at the end of classes, what could we have done differently? What would you want differently? Would you want more supplies, less supplies, things like that? Another one of the big projects is our Balloons Over Broadway. So we learn about Tony Sarg, not Tony Stark. All the kids think I say that at first. I'm like, no, it's not Iron Man.
No Iron Man.
He is the puppeteer from the original Macy's Day Parade. And then they get to design and build their own balloon. And then we have a little parade of our own at the elementary school for all the other kids to see. So that's really exciting. We do a big maze unit from kindergarten all the way to 4th grade. In the younger grades, they start to explore. They have to draw a plan, try to, get their little hex bug through it or whatever it is, marble run. By the time they leave in 4th grade, they get to build and design their own marble maze that they get to take home with them. And they have to do all of it, the measurements, the angles, things like that. This was just somebody gave me these fun biodegradable packing peanuts and I didn't know what to do with them, so we made a creation station out of them, and these are just some things that the students came up with. We talked about what biodegradable means. We looked at that versus a piece of styrofoam and how it actually breaks down in water, and then the kids were able to create things and take them home. Not quite sure if the parents love that part, but I know they do and I do, and they're so proud of their work. And then the last one, well, there's one more after this, but this is one that I'm actually super thankful for Dr. Michelle Lucier and our Putnam Valley Education Foundation. Dr. Lucier is an OT specialist. She came to me a few years ago and had said, I have this idea for this project. Would you be willing to hear it? And of course, let's go. Let's do it. Whatever. I'm up for anything. So our 4th graders every year get to work on a collaborative project where they create their own visual perceptual I Spy posters that get hung up around the school. So we teach the 4th graders about visual perception. Then they have to do this whole plan. They come up with a theme, and then they design them, and throughout the school year, we hang them up, and that is what a lot of our OTs use for our students to practice their visual perceptual skills. So that's really nice. So huge shout out to the Education Foundation and Dr. Lucier for bringing this up, because it's one of the favored projects and the kids always look forward to it. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. This one's a fun one too. I promise I'm almost done. So we talk about forces in flight. We make our own air-powered rockets, and we actually get to fly them. In the younger grades, we make hoop gliders. We talk about flight, all of the different forces that come into play, and then that actually also leads us to our drone flying, because all the forces of flight are pretty much all the same with any vehicle that flies. We do a little bubble exploration. They have to build their own bubble wand before they can do it. We mix our own bubbles. And then it's interesting because then they always come up with something like the hands. They're like, did you know I can make a bubble in my hand? So they get very excited about it. And then finally, one last thing is just our electrical unit. We have snap circuits that we start working with. We learn about insulators and conductors, and through there, we then get to work with our Makey, which is electrical circuits and conductors working together to control some sort of electric device or game that they get to play. So this is actually just a short, I know I've talked for very long, but it's just a very short snippet of what we get to do in Innovation Lab. It is, like I said, the most fun I've ever had. You guys liked it, right? So thank you for the opportunity to do it, because it is unbelievable. The kids love it, I love it, and I couldn't be more thankful, so appreciate it.
Dr. Podesta, what's the possibility of maybe organizing a day trip? I would love to see this class in action. This fascinates the heck out of me.
If there's a certain grade level you want to see, I can send you the schedule of the grade. We can clear it with administration, and you're welcome to come anytime.
I would love to visit.
We love
visitors. That. I'm sure other board members would love that.
If there's something specific that you want to see, like in terms of one of these, you're like, oh, I'd really like to see that, I can let you know when I'm doing it. But if not, just whenever.
You have a new student.
There you go.
It's going to be sitting in your class.
We have an Innovation Lab Adult Day, too. I mean, visit with the kids, but we should set up stations for you guys to explore, right?
I think this is fantastic.
Don't you want to go back to the elementary school now?
I'm really imprresed.
So it's so much fun. So please come, please. You are more than welcome. Anytime. Send an email, we'll get it set up.
Want to do that, yeah. Thank you.
That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does not go unnoticed the amount of planning and preparation that is going into each and every lesson. Jen teaches gen ed students, special ed students. She teaches K through 4. She's teaching all day, every day. She happens to coach for our district. She works with Liz Bross with the Science Maker Fair. I don't think she sleeps much, right? Yeah. But it's really something.
So a couple of years ago, Dr. Podesta and I sat down to talk about what the old technology elective was going to be. And we started talking about, like, this is the class I dreamed I could teach, right? And just be as creative and authentic and all of those things as possible. And Margaret and I started brainstorming, what are the things that we could, like, we need a teacher. Like, who would take this under their wing and make this grand vision a reality? And we could not have done a better job of,
No.
I think maybe there was a tap on the shoulder, like, hey, you ever consider teaching this class?
Yeah.
I'm just entirely impressed by how far you have taken what was a vision 4 years ago and put it into reality for the last 4 years. And I'm in awe in seeing all the things that you've been able to do. So, like Sam, I'll be sure to be stopping out there more often
Yeah.
too. The fourth grade teachers will enjoy the break from their classrooms where I hide, so I'll start going out to the Innovation Lab.
But I don't know if you could see, but the first graders who are remaining, she would say certain words and their faces would light up because they love doing it so much, and they're only in first grade. But I think you just said makey makey or something, and all of a sudden the eyes went whoop, like.
I say this way: if you ever retire or leave here, they might be looking for a new superintendent, because I'm going to apply for your job.
Who wouldn't want it? So thank you so much, Mrs. Bruno. Thank you. All right, and just to finish up our presentation, I just want to highlight the amount of teamwork and the collaboration and the faculty support that takes place in our school on a daily basis. We have very strong grade level teams and departments, and that really makes a school. We learn best from each other. It's a place of learning and growth. We share our worries and our struggles, and there are some, and then we continue to move forward. So of course we have our grade level coordinator team, our team leaders who help with communication, our monthly professional development hours, our RTI team, data teams that take place. We meet quarterly. We have our safety, our BERT team, our building steering committee, and we work closely with the Putnam Valley Education Foundation and our amazing PTA. Our professional development is ongoing, whether it's from in-house or with outside consultants. This happens to be Mr. David Marsh from the Wilson Company, who came in to help our teachers and has been in with foundations. He is an amazing consultant as well, and our teachers just want more. They're like, just bring him back, bring him back. We have Teresa Bork, who helps with foundations, and as I said, Carrie Burdett. We really have strong teacher leaders in the building, and that social capital makes a huge difference. We have an amazing faculty, and I can't say enough about them. I've been there. This is my 12th year now. We have quite a learning culture, a very strong team effort, a supportive learning community, teacher leaders who continue to rise to the top, turnkey trainers, we learn from each other, and the growth mindset. I want to say that last, our field day, Mrs. Origema, our PE teacher, said, hey, I saw something, I want to see if we can try it. And so it was, you know, big costumes and lots of effort and staff participation. And I was thinking, oh, it might be hot, it's the end of the year, it might feel a little crazy. No, wait till you see how many people participated and what this looked like.
Epic. Barney's my favorite.
It was a beautiful moment. I mean, why not show the children how much fun we can have each and every day? And I thank the teachers for just jumping in and saying, okay, if you can watch my class, I'll be in. And all of a sudden, all these costumes appeared, and I just love the place. I really do. And then I'm... Okay.
I love the upside down, man. It's so cool.
I did. I did nearly get trampled by Mr. Potato Head earlier in that.
Just watch that. for the rest of the day.
I know, but I was watching it, filming it, and as I was filming Mr. Potato Head run across the field, I did not realize that Mr. Potato Head did not see me. And I have on video me essentially diving out of the way as Mr. Potato Head rushes by. Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head.
Thorough
So-
investigation has determined who Mr. Potato Head was. And totally unaware of my presence. In my fault for being in their line of running.
Be careful, be careful. Anyway, I just want to thank the Board of Education, our administrative team, for all of your support. When we come up with new ideas, really, we do get the support and we feel the support. Our curriculum is strong, and when we want to try something new in a curriculum, the answer is usually, let's give it a try, let's see how we do. And so we appreciate that because our teachers benefit and our students definitely do. So thank you, let's have a great year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions at all?
Just great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Our kids are so blessed that they get to go to your school.
They are.
Thank
They
you
are.
for all the work that you do. Because all of that, I just have to say this because it needs to be said. All of that is orchestrated by leaders who really care, who balance all of those things in the air at one time, see the whole picture, get called to classrooms, have to meet with parents, and yet still be able to provide that to our kids every single day. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I do want to recognize that Putnam Valley Elementary School might be the happiest place on earth.
Rainbows?
It's really the highlight of my day every day is going in there and just seeing the smiling faces of kids and teachers and the willingness to do whatever it takes to make the experience of the students that we are here to serve the best it could possibly be. So this feels very much almost like an end-of-year presentation, not we've been in school for a couple of weeks presentation. So it'll be interesting to see how much more is accomplished throughout the school year. But I do want to recognize, obviously, our teachers and our students
yes,
and our building
absolutely.
administrators for a fantastic overview of some, and I'll say some, of the very amazing things going on there in Putnam Valley Elementary School. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.